Next up on the number one tee.
Well, hello, and welcome back to your virtual tea time. My name is Tori, and we have Miss Kimberly Eaton back joining us today. We have Pat here, too. Hi, Pat.
Hi.
I told Pat she can chime in when she wants, but just hang out with us. But Kim, you got back really late last night from the Amateur Golf Alliance tournament in Alabama. So what time did you get back home?
I got back about 12:30 last night.
And you're a little under the weather.
I am. I caught a cold while I was in Alabama.
Well,
I'm not very happy about it.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming today, because you could have easily texted me and said, I'm sick, I'm tired, and I didn't play my best golf, and I don't want to come. So I appreciate you being here. That was an assumption, by the way.
I certainly didn't play my best golf. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. And I just know that based off the scores, but you're going to fill us in on it. But before we do, I do need to update the listeners on a couple things. And so I want to, first and foremost, the Dallas Shootout. So we're over 80% full at this point. So if you're interested in joining us in Dallas, October 15th through 17th, grab your spot now. And the urgency about it, too, is that we have very limited hotel rooms left at the discounted rates. So if you're on the fence, now is the time to sign up. Get one of those discounted rooms at the Westin. It's a beautiful hotel, stunning course. We're playing at Stonebriar Country Club, and there's 2 courses there. We're playing round 1 on one course and round 2 on a completely other course. It's going to be a fun tournament, let alone all the other things that we do at our tournaments. Kim and Pat have been to every one so far.
No, not everyone.
Well, both Desert Classics and Dinsante Bay.
Right.
Yeah. So
they are fun, ladies. Sign up. If you're really into some fun golf and not serious competition, then they're a blast.
Yeah. And here's the thing with Kim. I mean, I'll talk for myself. I enjoy competition. Like, I want to go out there and grind and try and play my best and, put myself under that test, And I would think that you're the same way, Kim. That's fun for you.
Oh, yeah, competition.
Yeah. So while these tournaments that we have, the Desert Classic, the Dallas Shootout, Dinsante Bay Invitational, they also are real tournaments. We're following the rules. There's no mulligans, magic putts, or any of that. I mean, it is a tournament, but on the outside of the golf course, we're having a blast. So that's what really sets it apart.
Definitely. They've gotten me to do things at these tournaments that I would never do.
And Pat, you can attest to that, huh?
Absolutely. And as a higher handicap, past you guys, it's really a lot of fun for the higher handicaps. You meet so many people. We have so much fun. The last one I just did rules, and I had more fun doing those rules than I've ever had doing a rules tournament ever in my life.
Oh my God. That says a lot. I mean, she's doing rules and she's having fun. So if you're interested, make sure the website is dallasshootout.com. So that's easy. It's in the show notes too. Next up, Ireland 2023. We had a player, unfortunately, that was signed up. It's been sold out for months now. We had a player that is injured. And if you don't know about Ireland and Scotland, you have to walk all courses. There's no golf carts anywhere to be found. So she can't do that. She can't pull off 5 courses, 5 golf rounds in a row and walk all 18 holes. So she had to dip out, which means I have an extra spot for the Ireland retreat coming up in September. I believe the dates are September 7th through the 14th. And while there's only one spot left, it actually is a single occupancy spot. So you will not have to share a room with anyone. You will get your own room the whole time. And coming from someone that always needs to have their own room, me, I can understand how that could be appealing. So make sure you look in on that. We're playing the golf. Well, first of all, we're staying at the Marion Hotel and the Adair Manor Resort, both 5-star resorts, top notch. And the golf courses we're playing are the golf course at Adair Manor, Duke's Golf Club, Royal Dublin Golf Club, Portmarnock Golf Club, and Royal County Down. So we really have an amazing trip planned, and someone will be able to steal a spot since it's been sold out for months. So that's that. Also, a couple more updates. Scotland 2024 is coming, so be on the lookout for details on that. And also, signups for the Desert Classic for 2024 is coming up too. We are actually going to open registration up this summer, opposed to November. I found in the past 2 years that with us having the Desert Classic in March, which is high season in Scottsdale, it's hard to find affordable lodging when it's that close to the tournament. So we would usually sell it Thanksgiving week, or we'd open up registration Thanksgiving week, and we'd only have 3 months to find lodging. And unfortunately, the pricing is just skyrocketing here in Scottsdale. So we thought if we put it up for registration in the summer, you'll have more time to find an Airbnb. Or if you want to get a hotel room, it will be less expensive now. So be on the lookout for the Desert Classic. It's going to be March 3rd through March 6th, 2024. And we will have details up. I'm going to really try and have full details up by the time this episode airs, which is going to air on June 1st. But I'll keep you posted on that. And we'll open up registration either in July or August. And then that's it. Again, if you're listening to this episode right now on June 1st, we are right now in Pebble Beach. So if you've never seen what one of our retreats or tournaments are like, make sure you head over to Instagram and TikTok or Facebook and really look at our stories, look at our posts, because we are in the middle of Creek Cup here at Pebble Beach, and we're having an amazing time. So I want you to see what our retreats and tournaments are all about. And that's all the updates I have. So let's bring in Kim here. Kim, tell us where you were playing, what happened. Tell us everything.
Well, we were playing in Tuscaloosa, Alabama at a golf course called the North River Yacht and Golf Club. I never went down to the marina to see the yacht part of it, but I guess they just had pontoon boats. But, but the golf course was, our yardage was 50 maybe, and the golf course is very hilly. I mean, up and down, and I would have to say that the yardage played more like 6,000 to 6,100 yards.
Yeah.
It was, it played long for a lot of these women. I mean, it played long for me. I hit a lot of hybrids, more hybrids than I'm used to hitting.
Well, and fast forward to what turned into round 2, which really was round 3. It was after a huge rainstorm. Oh, so that made it even longer, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, you didn't get
being wet.
Any roll, but a lot of times you were hitting into hills. I mean, some of the holes were like straight up, and it's like, okay. So I'm just glad it wasn't cart path only yesterday, because I would have had an issue.
Yeah, that would have been tough. So tell us about round 1. Or you did play a practice round, right?
Yes, and I don't know if you remember, but I hate playing practice rounds. I can't stand it because I hit the ball good. I do, except on one hole in the practice round. It was 17. It's this par 3 over water. Mm-hmm. I tin cupped it in the practice round. I hit 3 balls in the water. So the first day I started out on the back 9, and I was a little Jekyll and Hyde the first day. So I started out. I 3-putted the first hole. I'm trying to think how this worked. No, I made a bogey on the second hole. I 3-putted the third hole. So I'm 3 over after 3 holes. I made a par on, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm trying to think. Well, we get to the 15th hole, and it's no, not the 15th hole.
Because you started on 10. So for the listeners, you started on 10.
I was 5 over after 4 holes. So I double bogeyed the 13th hole, which was a kind of a really short par 4. And my driver, the driver's the best club in my bag, but at this tournament, it sucked.
It sucked. Okay, so you're 5 over after the
4 holes.
After 4 holes. So what are you saying as you're going into hole 15? Like, what do you say to yourself?
15 is a tough hole because it's downhill, but then you have to hit over water to the green, and I parred that one. So I thought, okay, good, I'm okay.
Yeah, you stop the bleeding.
16 is a par 4 this way, a dog leg right, and everything kicks right. Well, I just opened up my driver, and we heard this loud bang. I didn't hit a tree. I hit a culvert, and I was in the hazard. I double bogeyed 16. So now I'm 7 over going into 17, which is the par 3 where I 10 cupped it in the practice round. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, what the hell am I going to hit here? Because I tried a couple different things. Well, I hit a nice 5 hybrid, and I made the putt for birdie, and I'm like, okay. And then I parred 18, and then I played the front 9 even par. So I was Jekyll on one side, Hyde on the other. So 77, I'll take 77.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fantastic recovery. But what are you thinking after going into that par 3 being 7 over? Because I'm sure it's like, what do you tell yourself to kind of try and reroute the path that you're currently on?
Well, sometimes with me, I just have to kind of take the attitude, well, you know what? I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to win the damn tournament, so let's just go out and try and play golf.
But you're really at that point thinking, okay, I'm not going to, because you go in wanting to win. You're not just going there to, see all your friends.
Even though that was nice.
Yeah, that's always nice. That's a bonus. But you're going there to win. So even after 8 holes, you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, I can't win now. You go to that conclusion that quick?
A little, yeah.
Because it's a 3-round tournament, stroke play.
It's a 3-round tournament in the way I'm hitting it. And but then after the front 9, I thought, okay, 77. Low it's par 71. Mm-hmm. So it was 35 on the back 9, 36 on the front 9. The back 9 is tight. The front 9 is kind of
a little more open.
A little bit more open, but you still have some water and some different holes. But the front 9, then my second 9, it was like I hit the ball good. It was like, where was this just 4 holes ago, or whatever? I hit my driver good, and I made par. I birdied.
Just bogeyed 1 hole.
No, I know.
You birdied
I
one,
birdied, I think 5, and then I 3-putted 6. It was a par 3 over the water, and I 3-putted again for a bogey. So I'm back to even par on that side, and we get to the 7th hole, which is a slight dogleg right, straight. I mean, we're talking straight uphill. Mm-hmm. And I hit my drive again. To the right, it lands in the bunker, which I'm thinking, okay, the bunker. Well, I get up there, and it wasn't in a footprint or anything. It looked like it was in a hole where someone else's ball had landed, and then their ball rolled out. So that all got got raked, but not me. So I'm thinking, great. So I take my sand wedge out and just knock it out and put an 8-iron 3 feet and make that for par.
Ooh, I like it.
And I'm thinking, where was this 6 holes ago?
Yeah.
Anyway, so
good first round. I mean,
it was considering, I was tied for 15th after the first round.
Yeah. And here's the thing. That's actually a learning experience for everyone too. When you are raking a bunker, look throughout the entire bunker and say to yourself, are there any marks here that I would be really annoyed if my ball landed there? Because it could just be the way the rake was laying and it's a rake mark that you're cleaning up, or where your ball landed. Like, when you are leaving a bunker, make sure it's in the best condition that you would want your ball to land in. Because that's really unfortunate. I mean...
Yeah, it is. It's because it was already a tough hole. I mean, a false front, so you couldn't... But then yesterday, that same hole... I was for sure not to hit it in the bunker, so I left it up on this side hill, and I almost ran a 7-wood up, just ran it up the hill, but I'm just short of the bunker, but now there's sand right there, and so Pat knows what this means. I did an oh my God.
And what does that mean, Pat?
That means that she hit the ball about 2 inches.
That sounds like I would be like, that's my oh fuck shot.
This happened once in a senior am.
Yeah.
And I'm caddying for her, and she does it, and I'm going, and it just came right out of my mouth.
Loudly, it came out of her mouth.
Oh my God. And she looks at me like, and I go, I tried not to, but.
So then I chili dip it into the bunker, get it on, and make a nice double. So.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, before we get to this, the second round turned out to be rained out. So the 3-day tournament turned it into a 2-day tournament. So before we get to the second round, can you think of anything going into your first round, like right before you got on the course, or maybe your morning in general, that would account for that slow start? Like, can you think of anything that, like...
Well, no, because the 10th hole was the first... When I played my practice round, the 10th hole, I knocked 2 in the tree. So I hit a great drive. I hit a good second shot. I was on the green closer than anyone else in my group, and I 3-putted.
Yeah.
And I'm like... So, and that was kind of like yesterday. We started on the back 9. I hit a good shot. And I 3-putt again to start the round, which, I always used to say a birdie, starting out with a birdie is like the death. But starting out with a bogey...
Well, it wasn't the death at the 4-ball championship that you and Tara started out with the birdie. But maybe I only remember that.
Well, I have to say I started out pretty good at the 4-ball. But.
Yeah, we're going to get into the 4-ball. But okay, so going into the second and final round of the Alabama tournament. So what's your goal going in?
I don't know if I really had a goal. I just wanted to play better on the back 9, which I didn't. I played worse.
Did you start on number 10 again?
Started on 10, 3-putt the first hole for a bogey. Second hole.
At number 10. Really
Tori, I'm watching all this at home on Golf Genius.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm smacking myself in the head going, oh, my God.
Pat, what's the average number of times that you refresh your phone to check Kim's scores on a typical tournament day?
Probably 30.
Yeah. I know that feeling. I am a score watcher myself. So sometimes when I'm just I'm really invested in a certain tournament, I'm like pressing refresh all the time. So I get it.
So the second hole, I made a good up and down for par. And I thought, okay, I can handle the first bogey on the first hole.
Yeah.
Next hole, I 3-putt.
God, your putting really, really got you this week.
Then the next hole, I hit a bad drive, but I still, hey, it's okay. I can get on. And it was, I took a drop from the cart path and chunked it, got on, made another bogey.
So it just, the second round, not great.
No.
It was...
Except like the first round on number 7 where I made a great par. The second day on 18 there was a river running down 18 the day before, so it was a little wait. All 3 of us yanked our drives into the bunkers. I hit mine out, it hits the lip, just gets out. Tama hits hers, hits the lip, just gets out. Adele hits a pretty good shot out. So I'm like, just get up there. So I get up there with an 8-iron, goes through the trees. I get up there and it's a foot from the hole. So there were times of greatness, but there weren't as many times of greatness as there was shitty golf.
Did they change the pairings going into that last round?
They did.
Oh, they did. Okay.
They paired us by our scores the first day.
Okay.
The second day, what they did was like every 3 groups, they just redid those 3 groups.
Okay.
So I had a different pairing than I had the second day, which, was okay. I mean, we played 2 holes and I was 2 over. About ready to make a bogey on the third.
Tell us a little bit. Okay, so, tournament wasn't great. Not what you hoped for. The weather sucked, at least for that second day. Probably took you out of whatever rhythm was manageable.
I'm not sure there was a rhythm.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us about when the tournament doesn't go as planned. What's good about these events for you?
Well, probably the best thing about them is getting a chance to see all my friends.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to see. I mean, most of the people that come to this tournament are East Coast people. There weren't. There's only a few of us from the West Coast that went and played in that, and so I really miss some of those people that I don't get to see very often. But I know you're going to ask me what I came away with this tournament. Besides a cold. I came away with the thought that I want to quit competitive golf again.
Oh gosh. Well, that's not a lesson. I asked you, what lesson did you learn from this tournament?
Lesson. I don't know if I learned anything other than there were people there that played just as bad as I did. So I guess that was kind of
Well, yeah. I mean,
comforting.
Golf is hard. So, why do you want to? You're feeling like you don't want to play again? You feel like a break
not
is
really
coming?
competitive. No, I won't have a break because Pat and I are getting ready to leave next week to go play in 2 partner events. You know,
Together.
sometimes I'm thinking I just want to not play serious competitive golf. Like when I walked off of that tournament, it was like, I don't think I want to go play in the LNGA in Texas in October.
I know, but you know what? Your memory is really short because it was only about a week ago where you walked off the golf course winning the championship when you were down by 6.
5.
Oh, you were down by 5. Still an amazing round played by you and Tara. I'm sure it felt good. I'm a little jealous. Okay. And then you're just forgetting about that? How good that felt?
No, I'm not forgetting about it, but that's state level.
She'll be over it in a
Oh
week.
God, it's state level. You know what? Don't diminish that. I mean, you played really good golf. But I get it. I get that there's certain tournaments that mean more, that you really want your game to show up on. But one thing I came away with this tournament is since I've gotten older, I feel, I've never, my driver's the best club in my bag, and I usually just stand up and have no fear. Well, I had that fear in this tournament. Oh, I can relate to that.
And I don't know why. Maybe it's age. You hear that people when they get older, they get the yips with their putters and stuff. So maybe I'm just getting old.
She's trying to teach me to play with no fear because if there's a tree or sand or water, my mind is like, well, I'm going to lay up.
Yeah.
No, you just go for it. There's no fear.
That's what she says to you.
That's different though, because you let things, if I have to hit over water, that doesn't bother me, or if you have to hit around trees. But when you're standing up to a hole where you only have so much, and it's like, I never had that problem before.
You've never had that nervousness with your driver before.
Correct.
So one of my no fears, she tells me no fear. So I get over this shot and I've got a tree that I need to go around. Mm-hmm. So I'm telling myself, no fear, no fear. So I hit this shot. I mean, it was amazing. I hit this tree so hard. The ball went straight up in the air, landed on somebody's roof, bounced twice.
Bounced 3, came off the roof, bounced 3 times, right back onto the golf course.
And I was in play. No penalty.
Kim goes, look, see? Why were you scared of that shot?
No fear.
No, but she has done better because with her like that, she'll see 2 trees and I'll just say, just hit it, just go. And she does. And
I'm like thinking I'm going to die any minute.
Pat, can you tell the listeners how long have you been playing golf? What's your handicap? So everyone.
I've been playing golf since I was 40 and I'm 73 now. So, and I was a 36 handicap and I've gotten down to as low as a 10. And then my back went up to a 22, and now I'm back to a 14.
And you play the majority of your golf with Kim. I mean, you guys play almost every day.
17 years of it. So, yeah.
Wow.
And, people say, well, I think they think I should be a great golfer because I have this person in my pocket. But it's like golfing with your husband. You just... Yeah. He can't always tell you what to do. So I have my own instructors and I do my own thing. And she does help, though. She's helping me right now with the sand. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting much better with the sand. So because I'm going to have to hold her up on these next 2 tournaments because she's playing so bad right now.
Exactly. I mean, you're going to have to come through. Jeez. She's going to be 3-putting. You have to get
my shoulders are going to be heavy.
Tell us about the 2 tournaments coming up. 2 partner tournaments.
One, it's in Montrose, Colorado, and it's a 3-day event, 3 different golf courses, 3 different formats.
Oh, wait, that sounds like so much fun. What is the tournament called?
It's called the BC Charity Classic. This is only the 2nd year, and I never even knew it existed last year. And so when we signed up, we signed up pretty shortly after it came out, and it was already full. We were like 2nd on the wait list. And this was back in December or January. Yeah. And then we just found out, I think last week, that we were in for sure because obviously charged my credit card and I saw it.
Nice. So wait, so anyone can join. Anyone can register for this tournament.
Yes.
3 different courses. What are the formats?
Well, the
each day?
first day it's a Chapman, which
Switch, hit, and bitch.
Oh boy.
typically we won't play in that because that's like divorce court.
Yeah, I mean it's a really hard format.
But I looked at all the people playing and I hardly recognized anybody and stuff. So
What? So, okay, what's day 2?
day 2 is a best ball. And it's at a course called, well, the first one is Black Canyon. The second course is Cobble Creek, and it's a best ball. And then the third course is the Bridges, and it's probably the hardest golf course. I have played it. I haven't played the other 2, but I know it's the hardest one. And it's a scramble format there.
Oh, fun. And how about the second partner
Well,
tournament?
so then we're done. That one is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then we drive Monday to Farmington, New Mexico, which is kind of on our way back home anyway. And that's a 2-day best ball tournament at 2 different golf courses, Pinion Hills and San Juan Country Club.
Have you guys played that one before?
Once.
And we won.
And the only reason we haven't gone back is because there was always a conflict. We always used to go down to Sierra Vista and play in their little 1-day tournament because we like the golf course and the people are nice. But I think they've been having some trouble with their ladies' league and their tournament. And so some of our friends kind of said, you know. So
Hold off for a while.
yeah, so we just thought, well, we'll go play in Farmington again. We haven't been there in a while.
Well, that will be fun. And any opportunity that you guys get to play together, that's always fun,
Yeah.
right? Easy.
I mean,
and-
For her, maybe.
And then we have another partner event later in the month up at Munns Park, which you have played
oh,
in.
yes, Pinewood.
And that one's going to be really hard. They changed the format.
Oh, what'd they change it to?
I think it's a Stableford, maybe an
Aggregate
aggregate Stableford.
Oh,
for both people.
oh, yeah, that will be hard.
So
Because you guys usually contend for low gross there. So with
Yeah.
aggregate, that
And
makes
see,
it a
I
little
become
tricky.
an 8 handicap when I play with her.
Oh, yeah, that's annoying. Did you know that the USGA actually said that they don't recommend that anymore? Actually, the differential. They just say do 80% handicap and you don't have to do a different differential. So,
and then we go back to Colorado over Father's Day for an individual tournament at Rifle, but it's a 2-day eclectic, which is a really fun tournament because
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter how good you or how bad you play the first day. It's all what happens the second day.
well, and it really doesn't matter how bad you play the second day as long as you're good on the holes that you need to be good at.
Right.
You know? So I love an eclectic format.
It's fun. And then we have the Mid-Am.
yeah.
So that's our
Oh, yeah.
summer.
Wow. So all that's happening before the Mid-Am.
Well, 2 of them before the Mid-Am, then we come back for the Mid-Am, and then we go to Rifle, come home, and then we are home one day and go up to Munns Park. 5 tournaments in June, though, so that's a busy June.
Okay, I don't want to get off of the Alabama tournament just yet. First off, let's congratulate the winner. So the senior division, shoot, I wrote this down.
Patricia
Earhart.
Earhart, good player.
Where's she from?
Well, you know, she was living in Arizona for a while, but she lives in Birmingham. She was in Hawaii for a while, too, but she lives in Birmingham, Alabama.
So close drive for her.
Yeah.
You know, less travel. Probably.
She's a good player. I mean, she's always been a good player as long as I've known her. Mm-hmm. So, and then Lauren Greenleaf won the Open Division.
And I think she defended her title. I think she won last year, too.
Actually, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And our buddies Megan and
Oh.
Shannon, I guess Megan ended up 3rd.
Mm-hmm. I
And
saw
then-
that.
And then Shannon didn't play as well.
Yeah.
So
It happens. Did you get to talk to them at all? I mean,
yeah.
how great is that? Did you meet them for the first time at Desert Classic?
yes, I did. And then again, Megan, when I played in a member guest up at Arrowhead, we beat her and her mother, which was, I mean,
Yeah.
in a scorecard playoff, which was kind of fun.
And we've adopted a girl from the Desert Classic,
Oh, yes.
daughter.
Ashley.
Yes. I love Ashley.
Yes. She sent us a happy Mother's Day.
So this is what the best thing about the Desert Classic, Dallas Shootout, and Sante Bay Invitational is that you really truly do meet other women that turn into be friends forever.
Well, If I'm not saying no, I'm not saying yes, but if I go to the LNGA, it's basically the same time as your
Dallas Shootout.
But we were going to go early to hang out with all you guys for a couple days. And one of the ladies that we've met, Amy, said, well, you can stay at our house.
Yeah.
And stuff. And then not this year, but next year.
Desert Classic?
No, not next year at the Desert Classic. Next year, the Senior Women's Am is up in Seattle. And Stephanie, our buddy, has already said, you're staying at our house. She's the one I gave a trophy to when she was here for the Desert Classic, and she was so excited.
And you met Stephanie at Dinsante Bay. And again, this is just meeting people, women from all over the country, too. It's quite special, and you don't realize it until you're really in it. And Dinsante Bay was special because we were all at the same hotel. It was a close environment, and
we were all in the pool together having fun, and
it's hard to explain when you're not there in it, but it's really something special. Okay, so let's go back to 4-ball. So Pat, what is Kim and Tara? So we go into the final round, okay, and Corey and I were up by 5, okay. So, Kim, what are you thinking going into the final round? Because we're all paired together. Kim and Tara is paired with Corey and I.
To be honest, I was thinking Tori's going to get her first state championship.
Yeah.
She actually did. She says, it's going to be hard for us to come back from 5, but we'd like to see Tori win her first state.
Yeah, and I believe that you guys said that because trust me, I was, and this is the lesson I had to learn too. I was going into the second day thinking, I'm going to win my first state championship today. So, I made that mistake on my end. So what did you know had to happen though that day?
Well, we were going to have to make lots of birdies.
Mm-hmm. So you both birdie the first hole.
Well, I think I made 3 birdies on the front, and Tara maybe made 4.
Yeah, it was a freaking birdie fest, Pat. And I know you were watching on Golf Genius, so you saw all the blue squares. Okay, you were well aware of the birdies that were going on. But, I mean, it was happening fast. And so we actually made the turn. We were 5 up, or, we had the lead by 5 going into day 2. And then we made the turn totally even with each other. And I remember Corey getting into the cart after hole number 9. And I turned to her. I said, well, let's duke it out now. That's all we can do. And Kim, you want to talk about the back 9?
Well, the back 9, we didn't make as many birdies, but you guys calmed down and started making pars, and so I think Tara made a couple birdies on the back, which saved our ass. And then we came to the 18th hole. We're 1 down. Mm-hmm. This is for the big sticks like Corey, Tori, and Tara. This is a reachable par 5 if you hit a good drive.
Yeah. And it's a very small window, too.
It is a small window, and so I hit what I thought was a good drive, and I did that the first day, too, and I was down in the rocks. But I'd much rather be in the rocks, and then you guys stand up and both hook it out of bounds.
Yeah, so the hole is a dogleg left, and there's out of bounds on the left, and there's desert on the right. So
and water, and you could reach the water on your drive if you hit it too far right. Yeah, and on day 1, I didn't do a practice round, so I'm going into this course not knowing anything about it. I'm on the tee box. This is day 1 of 18, and it looks pretty clear that you aim over the bunker and you try and draw it a little bit. It seems like that's pretty clear off the tee box. Well, that's exactly what I do, and I draw it. It leaves me with a 144-yard shot into the green on a par 5. So, again, I don't really realize how close that OB is on the left or how, close that desert is on the right, because I just hit a shot that it looked pretty clear to me, and I executed it. So going into day 2, Tara, you guys have the tee box, so you guys hit first, and Tara uses her driver, hits a perfect shot. She hits the drive on the line that you need to hit with a draw. I know that Tara has a very easy second shot in. I mean, I know that she has less than 160 yards in just by the way she hit it because of the day before. So Corey gets up, Corey's hitting first.
Corey gets up to the tee box and she hits a hook. But I don't think, like, for me personally, I don't think it's out of bounds because it kind of hit the fairway or, the fairway rough first, but it's hooking. And I just thought something was going to stop it. It didn't look like it was totally out of bounds. So I step up to the tee box. If I knew it was out of bounds, I would not have had my driver in my hand.
You shouldn't have anyway.
But I'm thinking, okay, let's get to what you think I should have done for sure. But I'm thinking to myself, we are in the lead by 1. Tara just will easily get a birdie because she's within range. But now I know. Yeah. Okay. She will get a birdie from where she's at. So I need to follow Tara. I need to hit my driver too. I hook the ball so bad, we know I'm out of bounds. Okay. So we go up, we hit our provisionals, both Corey and I. I don't realize Corey was that concerned about being out of bounds. She is, in fact, out of bounds. So we both went into 18 with a 1-shot lead and stroke our tee shots out of bounds. And Tara does end up getting an amazing up and down for a birdie.
Out of the bunker.
Yep.
But if one of you would have just hit anything other than your driver down the fairway, all you needed was a par because a birdie isn't going to win it for us. It's just going to put us in a playoff.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know.
That was my first question when she came home. Why did they both hit drivers?
So
because you long people, you want that driver in your hand because you want all you can get.
I know. And maybe if I didn't see, like if we had the tee box, it might have been different. I'm not sure, but
I don't know. But I had a flashback of the Mid-Am last summer.
Yes. No,
because
totally.
that's the exact same shot you hit.
No, it totally was. And
Mid-Am.
it really is the same collapse that Corey had at the Mid-Am too. Like we ended up.
Yeah, she won with a double bogey on the last hole.
Yeah. It was terrible. So it was, again, a big learning experience for me. But I'd say what I walked away with the most for learning, other than 18, was like, you need to get birdies. Like you need to keep the.
Well, the other
down.
thing is that I guess my takeaway, and I've said this before, is that if you play 1-9 really bad, you can still come back.
Yeah.
Case in point, we were playing in the U.S. I was in the Mid-Am in Briggs Ranch, Texas, and I was coming off the 9th hole in tears. I mean, I literally wanted to walk off the golf course, but with the USGA, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because then you won't be playing anymore.
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't let her. I was caddying.
Yeah.
So I just said, okay, screw it. Let's just go out and play the back and whatever. And I shoot 35 on the back and I make the cut into match play.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, what else were you thinking for that round at the 4-ball? So on the back 9, I want to put a little more perspective on what's happened on the back 9. So we made the turn and we're dead even. You guys then proceed to have two.
Oh, we bogeyed the first 2 holes on the back.
You bogeyed the first 2 holes. And they were silly bogeys. I mean, I don't think that was,
Well, Tara's was. I think Tara missed a very short putt on one of them.
But then on a number 11, it was a par 5, and you both bogeyed. So I'd say that was silly. I mean, you don't want to bogey a par 5.
I'm trying to think what that hole was.
You both got in the sand trap on the green side sand trap, and you couldn't get up and down. So it's two silly bogeys. So all of a sudden, Corey and I make the turn. We're dead even. And then all of a sudden, we got 2 easy strokes back just based on, 2 silly bogeys. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, they just gave those back to us. Let's see what happens. And again, you guys just crawled your way back and, that was that.
Tara was a good partner because I know she's good for some birdies.
Yeah. What was it like playing together for the first time?
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was, I thought we got along good.
Yeah. It seemed like it. And we played at, Sterling Grove on the west side. I think is that a Surprise address? Yeah. Surprise. And it was, I enjoyed it.
It's a great community. I mean, it's a huge community that they're building out there. But we're talking, it's west. It's west of the 303, folks. It's closer than Verrado. Verrado's even further out, but I mean, it's a beautiful area. And when it gets completely built up, it's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a fun course.
But I have to say, we won, $90 for winning? I went into the pro shop. A dozen balls was $70.
That's horrible.
And not only that, when I got home and looked at the box compared to the other boxes I have, it was last year's model.
Oh, no, that's so bad. Shame on them.
Yeah.
And the shirts.
No, that's ridiculous.
And none of the shirts, they were all over $100. It was just expensive.
Yeah, that's not cool.
But
okay, so believe it or not, this was going to be a Q&A, a listener Q&A episode, and we're running out of time. We only have 12 minutes, but I'm not surprised because we just love talking tournaments. So let's get into a couple listener questions. I thought this one was easy or unique because I know that Kim has a waggle in her pre-shot routine. So the listener asked, what's the deal with a waggle? How do I develop my own? I'd say Kim has a waggle, don't you think, Pat?
She does.
Do you have a waggle?
Yes.
especially when she chips.
Oh, really?
I kind of bounce.
Oh, you bounce.
And,
She does, and it drives me crazy. Because if she goes to hit it at the wrong bounce, then she either skulls
I
it
got to get that.
or fats it. I have a waggle. I do.
Yes.
Yeah, you rotate you move your club above the ball or to the side of the ball.
I will say, and for listeners who see me play golf, a lot of people ask me this question. Mm-hmm. Why do you line the ball up on the heel of your club?
On the hosel almost.
And it's like, I can't answer that. I've just always done it.
And you do that with every club.
Every club. And the same, just like my uncle, who was a good player too, he would line his up outside, off the club face and stuff. And the reason I do it now, I think, is because when I swing, I lift up a little. So when I lift up, then the club face is back at the ball square. Mm-hmm. But I've always, as long as I've ever played, I've always done that.
Yeah. But you for sure have a waggle. That's funny that she thinks she doesn't have a waggle.
I don't think about it.
Yeah.
It just goes up and down.
Yeah. But I don't feel like I have a waggle, but I was listening to either one of Justin's trainings or something where he said a waggle does help because you're already kind of in motion and you want to get that momentum going for your swing. I mean, think about starting your swing from a dead stop. I mean, it takes a lot of energy to get up to the speed that you want, whereas a waggle will help you kind of switch that momentum quicker.
Well, and some people lift their club up off the ground before they swing it back. I don't think I could ever do that, but I mean, a lot of people do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's whatever works for you. Okay, next question. Did you ever, since you're a teaching pro and you're an ex-cop, so I think this question can go for both professions. Do you ever feel like you have to prove yourself in a male-dominated industry? Definitely in the police business you did. Maybe not as much now, but we're talking, I got in the early, in the mid-'80s, I became a cop. And definitely, especially someone of my stature, I'm kind of small and stuff. And
short.
You have to prove yourself. And it got to the point where, I would all the guys want to fight. They want to get in there and wrestle with these guys.
Like all the cops want to fight each other?
No, not the cops fight each other, but with the bad guys. They want to just get in and be physical and stuff.
They want to be macho.
Yeah.
And so I would just stand back. But I had proved myself earlier, in my career. I got down and dirty a couple times with some bad guys. And we have a friend that tells a story, and she embellishes it more and more every time she tells it about me coming into the bar after somebody, and I slid right over the bar and stuff, and I'm like,
oh my gosh,
that didn't happen. I mean, but just to hear her,
say it did.
Just to have her tell the story is pretty funny. But yeah, well, you do have to prove in the golf business. Not as much as the police business.
Yeah, I would imagine so. So cop came before golf, though?
No.
Oh, really? So you were...
I was a golf professional, and then I gave that up and became a police officer.
Wow. I did not know that was the rotation. That's interesting.
And a lot of people say, you left the golf business to become a cop? And my answer is this, they're very similar. And Tori's looking at me like, really? In the golf business, you deal with people who are very demanding. In the police business, you deal with people who are very demanding. The one difference is the country clubbers have money. The bad guys don't have any money. That's the only difference between the two.
But you didn't feel that pressure to prove yourself in the golf industry as much.
No.
But you did feel it. Because I got to imagine in the early 80s, 70s, it was very male-dominated sport still.
It was, but, I knew one of the assistants at the golf course was a good friend of mine from Colorado, and he got me the job. And I don't remember really having to prove myself in that business.
Yeah. Was there one main reason you left the business?
Yeah, I just got burned out. I'd been playing my whole, since I was 13, college, it's always a grind. You play, practice. And so then I got into the golf business, and you're talking, a lot of people don't realize it, but there is a difference between a golf professional and a professional golfer.
Yeah.
A golf professional is one who's in the business, and you're working 60 hours a week. You don't get to play very much. And then a professional golfer is someone who plays golf for a living. Now, I did a little of that on the mini tour too, but I worked in the pro shop and did all that. And I just kind of got burned out with golf. Mm-hmm. And so I moved back. I was out in Palm Desert, and I moved back to Colorado, quit my job. I had a good job at Bermuda Dunes Country Club. And in the summertime, a lot of the assistants will go to clubs like up in the Midwest or places where it's cold in the winter and they can't work all year round. So the winter people come down to the warm climates and then they go back. And so I had a good job at Bermuda Dunes. I was leaving for the summer. I had a job when I came back in the fall, and I just quit. And my mom was not very happy.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a job when I moved back to Colorado. I started working at 7-Eleven.
Wow.
And then I was a reserve with the sheriff's department, which meant they basically trained me. I worked for free. But that's good because then when they go to hire, they're going to hire somebody that they've already trained and they know how they are before. And I think I got hired within 4 months.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting. Wow. You know what? A little Kimmy and backstory right there. All right, so we have all these questions. I want to do random ones. So how about, someone asked, will you do an event in the Myrtle Beach area? I'm not sure. Probably eventually. But let's talk about Myrtle Beach.
It's a great place.
Okay, tell us about it. Why is it a great place? I've only been there once. It was off season. It was like November, so it was cold. Courses looked brown.
It's not that cold, Pat. We used to have a timeshare in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
So we would go like every couple of years, and I went through a company to book the golf for us and stuff. And we would they rate their golf clubs, like low, medium, and high as far as price.
Yeah.
So we just we tried to pick different golf courses each time that we went. But there were always a couple that we really always enjoyed playing. One was The Witch, which is kind of a medium priced golf course. It was just neat because it's got, the moss hanging from the trees and wooden bridges that you would drive over. It was just kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then on the higher end was a golf course called Caledonia Fish and Golf Club.
I've heard really good things about that course.
That's a great golf course. And we would always go the Saturday after Thanksgiving because the prices are low. Mm-hmm. I mean, the weather gets cold, especially for me because I'm a wimp when it comes to cold weather. But you wear an Under Armour shirt and a jacket, and by 10, you never want to tee off really before 10 o'clock. If you can go between 10 and 3, that's the best time to go. And but we have played. There are so many good golf courses. Caledonia has another one called True Blue. We've played that. We've gone up to North Carolina and played at. They have 3 courses. One's called the Lion, or they're like 3 animals. We played one of those and we didn't like it because they treated women not very good. But we played another one up in North Carolina called Thistle, and it was a 27 hole, and it was really good. And then we've played, the Dunes. The Dunes, which is where they used to hold a PGA event back in the day. We played.
It's right on the ocean.
Tidewater, which has some holes right on the water. Then we've gone south and played in like Pawleys Island. There are just so many golf courses.
It seems like there's a lot of golf courses there.
I mean, tons. We've played
There's
a lot.
like over 130.
Wow.
We've played a lot of different golf courses up there, even though we have our favorites. What was it? Palmer's course that we liked. North. No.
National. Something national.
I don't know, but I have 3 pictures
Yeah.
up on my wall from that.
I think it was
golf
Myrtle
course
Beach National.
Okay.
or something, but it's a great area.
Yeah.
And in the summertime, you're probably paying more, but if you went like in October, the first part, we've always went after, as I said, after Thanksgiving. But if you went like in October, you'd probably still get some
And
low.
we took people with us.
Well, yeah, we've taken people with us before, and they've had a great time.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's a little golf vacation recommendation for you.
And I always used Myrtle Beach Golf Masters. That was the company that always would get our courses for us.
That's fantastic. All right, there you go. Well, what a random episode. But I feel like, Kim, you walked in today, you were tired, you were a little under the weather, but she has some spunk to her now. I feel like the pod just needed to get you back on track.
Yeah, now I'm going to go home. I was supposed to go work out at 3 today, but not happening.
Yeah, and that's okay. Go relax.
I need to.
Those golf tournaments, 3-day golf tournaments take it out of you when you're even just local to the tournament. When you have to travel and play in those tournaments, it's exhausting. So go rest.
See, and I didn't, a lot of people go out and sightsee. I didn't do that at this tournament, even though I stayed with Shelley.
I know, that's fun.
And she had a cute little Airbnb that saved me like $300. Thank you, Shelley. And Jamie Hoffman. We had the 3 of us had a good time.
But you did go out a little bit.
Well, not to sightsee, but we went out to dinner a couple times.
Good.
But then one night, Jamie just stopped at the store on the way home and got chicken salad and bread and came home, and the 3 of us ate.
Perfect. Well, thanks for being here today, ladies.
Thank you. And we'll see you in a couple weeks for the Mid-Am.
I know. We will be there at TPC Champions course.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people. I mean, you got a good...
It's good. It's good. The Mid-Am level is growing in Arizona, which is a good thing. All right, ladies, thank you for being here today.
Thank you all.
Be sure to check out the show notes for all the details on today's show. If you haven't already, please give a 5-star written review on your favorite podcast platform, or even screenshot this episode and send it to your golf buddies. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you on the first tee in a couple days.